Alright guys, today we're going to be talking about the basic loadout you're going to be using for a Vietnam Airsoft event. I haven't seen really any of these videos out there. There's plenty of gear reviews and stuff like that about just a Vietnam uniform, but I wanted to talk today about a specific one for Airsoft and how you would pack light to be able to play Airsoft. And this is just the basics. I have some added things for if you're going overnight and stuff like that, but we're just gonna be talking about the basic gear and like what I would choose to buy first. So let's get right into it. First, we're gonna talk about. Let's see. We can start with the pants here. These are your basic jungle fatigue pants. I bought these from Rothco. These are the Rothco reproductions. Don't mind the Farby belt and the Civvy shoes. And these other Rothco pants. They're a little bit inaccurate, but this is like my gear that I normally use. So yeah, these are size medium I would get for the average person. I dyed them to make them a better color. They come in a quite inaccurate color when you buy them, but I would say it came out pretty good. I'll make a separate video on that maybe, but there's some already out there. This web belt is also just a black belt that I added this gold button to, or gold buckle to. Pretty easy to make or buy a real one, you know, they're pretty cheap. So yeah, you're gonna need this. This is a necessity. Then moving on, this is your Rothco jungle fatigue. This is a small regular. This is also dyed to be the accurate color for Vietnam. But these are really good jackets to just go and tear it up in the field. They're not too expensive to set. I would really recommend them. And then you're also going to need a green t-shirt. Any green t-shirt. I got this at Goodwill. Yeah, that's pretty much, like, those are the basics for like the uniform. You don't really need field gear necessarily, like if you're gonna play just with your buddies, but this is mostly for real reenacting. This is my reenacting stuff as well. So like if you want to make it legit, you want to get this stuff. Moving on, I guess, to more of the basic stuff is your M1 helmet. So this is a basic setup. I mean, I have some stuff added on here, but this is like your basic setup. So you got the Michelin pattern cover. This is a reproduction that I aged. You know, you don't have to spend the time, but if you really want to go and make it look authentic, I would age your helmet cover and then maybe stick a gun cleaning brush or some matches, can opener. These are really cheap items, so you can just get those wherever you want. And then helmet graffiti, like, you know, you can do it, especially for Airsoft. It's fine if you do it. I did this a little while ago, and I do like how it turned out, but a lot of people choose to leave it blank just to, you know, not be too flashy. And then moving on, I guess we can start talking about field gear, which I would really recommend you get for reenacting, because you know, when I'm out there in the field, I don't want to have to like find somewhere to stash this stuff and then go refill. I'd rather have it on me. So don't mind that I don't have a cap for this one, but basically this is the M56 web setup. So we're doing US Army, this is a US Army setup with the black belt and this basic setup. So you'd have, most basic setup is the two universal mag pouches, and I sometimes put BBs in these. Like you'd have to buy a different canister than this, but you get any kind of good canister that fits in this, or your magazines. If you have enough magazines, I would recommend buying more. Mine are still coming in the mail. But yeah, before that, you could also store BBs in these magazines. And then you want to have canteens, obviously, because if you're running around at an event, I mean, especially here, if you're anywhere else reenacting, you're probably going to get to use a blank fire M16. But if you're doing just Airsoft, or you're doing Airsoft in especially a hot area, you're going to need a lot of water. So I would recommend 2 canteens on either side, either attached to the belt here, or I like to attach it to my butt pack, because a lot of times I do a specialist impression with a radio. So I have it set up like this, but you can also set up the basic way where you put it here. And then essentially I fit all my green gas canisters in here, usually like this, sometimes like this also, as well as like an extra one of these, so I can refill my magazines because I can burn through them pretty quick in full auto. Another option, if you want to go the cheaper route, is to get Vietnam era or even post-war if you're like just starting out, some of these bandoliers for M60, because you can fit some bigger cases of BBs, or even like maybe if you find a smaller can of green gas you can fill it. Extra canteen could be nice too, but that's just extra. And then let's see, what else is basic? I mean, a flashlight and a grenade, those are not needed at all, but if you want them. And then, of course, for airsoft, you're also going to need an airsoft gun and safety glasses. So, recommended is obviously to get, like, as long as they're safe, I would get ones that are somewhat Vietnam accurate. You can either get, like, aviators or these ones. I got these because I like this style better. These are a copy of the Vietnam BCG glasses, birth control glasses. And these are outfitted for the safety standards of airsoft with the complete eye seal around the eyes. They're a little big. I would get the small size. I got the medium, and they look like pretty sizable. So I would definitely maybe get the smalls if you have like a normal size, you know, like a size head like I do. And then the airsoft gun, of course. This is a really nice one. This is a WeTech gas blowback M16 airsoft rifle. So it's fully automatic, takes like a 20 round magazine. You want to get 20 round magazines if you're trying to be accurate. The 30 round, I believe, banana magazines are not super accurate. But this is like not, of course, basic. Like most people can get an electric for way cheaper. But if you're really into it, you know, I would really recommend this gun. It hasn't had any problems so far. I'm gonna replace these with original parts, which is nice because it's so accurate. You can replace them with real parts. But it's a super smooth rifle. You know, everything works just as it should be. Like this thing even racks back per bullet, just like the real one would, as you can see. And then what else do we have here? Oh, of course, jungle boots. These are the Rothko ones. I would recommend if you're, you know, just getting into it, these are fine. You want to get ones that don't have this Panama. You want the Vibram sole. But for airsoft, definitely just get these. These are like a great option if you're going the cheaper route. You don't really have to do anything to these. These look pretty good. I mean, when they're on the ground, you can't really see this. I have a little dog tag from the actual, like when you buy these shirts, these pants, and even sometimes these boots, they come with a Rothko tag. And I just taped it up like they would to make it more silent, instead of clanging metal. And then I put it on the boot like they would sometimes in Vietnam. And so that's like the basics, like that's all you need to really get started. And then there's some extra things, like if you're going overnight, of course you want to get a tent half. I didn't, like this canvas here under it is a piece of a tent half. I didn't want to bring the whole tent half or a poncho liner out here, but I did bring the sleeping bag. The sleeping bag is a nice thing to have. They're actually pretty cheap. A lot of reenactors have them, like a bunch of them, and you can get one. I got mine for like 20 bucks or something. It was a pretty good deal. And you can also get these. This is a sleeping bag like carrier, and it straps right to your suspenders like a backpack, and it goes right on your back. That's like an extra thing you can get. And then if you follow me on YouTube, or if you go look at my YouTube channel, you can see how to build these smoke grenades. You can take like cheap smoke grenades if you're living in a state that you can buy them at. I went to Nevada to get these. But you can just pretty much build these cardboard casings around them and then just paint the tops. And these pins, like you can pull them off. They're fully operational smoke grenades. And if you're playing airsoft, that's a really cool thing to have, you know, if it allows it on the field you're playing in. So that's an extra thing, but if you want it, you know. And then this bag by the M16, that's a waterproof bag that I got at a surplus store. It's Vietnam era. And all you really do with that is to keep things dry, you know, because a lot of Vietnam events, they really like to go through rivers and things like that. So to keep things like that really don't want to get wet when you're playing airsoft, like your BBs, especially if they're the biodegradable ones, as well as your green gas, your magazines, all kinds of stuff like that, or your phone. It's a great thing to have. Even though this thing is waterproof, there's always extra stuff you need to carry. So I would recommend getting some kind of waterproof bag later on. And then this thing's pretty cool. This is a phone case. I'm guessing, I mean, most people these days use iPhone. So this is like an iPhone phone case that looks like a 60s camera. This was super cheap. I found it at Goodwill, but I looked it up and it's a pretty cheap case. And this is just like, if you're gonna pull it out at an event, you know, just to make it a little bit more accurate than just filming with your normal phone. This is definitely not a must-have item. It's not needed at all. It's not even like a common reenactor thing to do, but I thought it was a really cool item that I added to my loadout, just to, you know, immerse myself a little better and still be able to take good quality footage, and not have to buy a Vietnam era camera that's super expensive. Shovel also, if you're gonna be out there digging trenches or phone lines. That's something that a lot of people have just with their kit. And then I think that's pretty much it for like a basic kit with like the extra, like the basic full kit, you know, because most people will say, oh, you just need the pants, the t-shirt, a bandolier, and a canteen in your pocket, and you're good. And that's like a really good start. But if we're gonna go out there for a few days, or like you wanna go, you know, all out and step up your game, I would get this basic. I think this is the basic kit that you would want. You can always get into other stuff, like, you know, getting field phones, radios, like patch insignia, doing unit specific stuff, all that kind of stuff when you really get into it. But this is like a basic loadout, basic full loadout that you would wear. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So let me know in the comments if you have any questions, or if you want to correct me on any of the gear. And I'll see you guys in the next video.